everyone, and welcome to the Dragon Quest Super Famicom Tournament. This is the Ghost Round, and it is the first of our elimination matchups here tonight. Alongside Sumdiener, I'm Ferran Burgundy. We'll be bringing the action to you here tonight. Also, we have Lavitz951, who's going to be providing some commentary as well as taking care of the tracking. And I want to thank Noriestra for the restream as we have this elimination match between gameboyf9 and sparkover, two very familiar names and faces to the Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior community.
Yeah, that's right. My name is Sumdiener. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're going to enjoy tonight's Dragon Quest 1 Super Famicom race. Just to clarify, this is not actually a randomizer. This is the vanilla version of the Super Famicom game, which is a remake of the original Dragon Quest for Famicom or Dragon Warrior for NES. This is an elimination round, so the winner will advance and the loser will unfortunately be eliminated. So both players will have to play their best if they want to move on to the next round.
Yes, I was thrown off a little bit as I'm just used to saying randomizer. I think just over the course of being a commentator here on Randomania, as well as, this not being a randomized game, I guess that's where the randomness comes in, is it's, yes, a vanilla version of a game here on Randomania, something you certainly wouldn't expect.
That's true. While we're going to see mostly fixed, we are going to see fixed stat gains and spell learnings and monster locations, we are going to have plenty of randomness to it with random encounters where they end up appearing and such. So there's lots of room for different things that are going to happen, and while the players are going to be following mostly the same route, it's still going to vary quite a lot for both of them. So it looks like they're off and ready to go. They're starting here in the very beginning of the game. They've named their characters. We follow the Japanese RTA timing rules, which means the timing is from power on till the end of the credits. So the king's given us our quest. We've got to defeat the Dragon Lord and recover the Orb of Light. So right off the bat, everybody's grabbing the 3 treasure chests, which are going to hold a key to open the door, 120 gold coins, and a torch. They're also going to grab a medical herb in the vase here. That's one of the main differences, actually, between the original version, is you have some searchable dressers and pots and things like that that you can find some items in. We'll be seeing a lot of differences as we go through, and we'll be pointing those out. So right off the bat, they're going to come into town here and buy a club, as well as Kimura Wing here in the dresser, and they're going to buy some supplies for the beginning of the game.
This poor old man, he's taking a nice little nap, and we come in and we steal his dinner.
Well, he's never going home. Stuck in bed forever.
He's so sleepy. You can't just eat wings without anything on in this. We gotta get some herbs.
Yeah, it looks like Game Boy accidentally purchased a stick for 10 gold, so yeah, he's gonna be short an item, it looks like. So we're normally gonna set up to buy the Dragon Scale for 20 gold, which is 4 defense power, I think, in this version. 2 more herbs to bring our count to 3, and 2 more torches to bring our count to 3. The neat thing about the torches in this version is they can be thrown as items in battle, dealing 4 to 6 damage. And we're going to take advantage of that early on to fight at least one enemy that we really shouldn't be fighting at our level.
Being down in herb here is not the end of the world, but it's not great.
It could be interesting to see what ends up happening there. 2
herbs to start seems real bad. Like, you're kind of just hoping for not Magidraki.
And already gameboyf9 with a quick encounter with the slime, and sparkover running into one as well. So now they're both going to be looking to get a little bit of a level gain here, just in this kind of area north of the castle.
That's right. Both players want to advance to level 2 before going towards the next town. The reason being that at level 2, we have a much better chance of fighting the ghost, which Sparko actually encountered ghosts here at level 1, but Kaishin no Ichigeki, the critical hit, actually killed it, so no problem. She went just a little bit too far to the right, so she encountered the ghost there, but it's fine now. She's level 2. She's going to be moving east towards
that's so scary. Why is she going through those mountains? Sparky, please.
So Sparkover with a slight early advantage here, getting the level up, although Game Boy now joining that fray as well.
Yeah, not too far behind. They're going to continue to fight monsters on their way towards level 3. They're going to want to reach level 3 before heading on, or close to that point. Once they head towards the town of Cole in the top left corner of the map, the encounter will change. There's going to be very strong enemies there, and we're going to be able to fight something with a torch, with the torches we bought, but we need to make sure that... Oh dear.
Oh, Sparky, no.
Yeah, the ghost.
Sparkover taking a death to the ghost.
Yeah, the ghost is the strong enemy there, and even at level 2 he can present a pretty strong threat. He can deal up to 4 damage per attack. And because the way turn order works in this game, it's not, once you input your command, it then rolls for initiative, so it's possible that even if you try and heal yourself, a monster can go before you and kill you. In theory, a monster can basically hit you twice in a row. So even at 8 hit points, you can be killed by a ghost who hits you twice for 4 damage.
Yeah, so as soon as you hit 8, what you should just do in that combat is heal, and hope that it outspeeds you that turn.
Rolling for initiative, not just for Dungeons & Dragons anymore.
Yeah, every turn it's going to be different, and it's based on your agility stat. So the higher your agility, the better off you are. So Game Boy, meanwhile, he's reached level 3 before moving north. He's got an encounter with Scorpion. Scorpion is the best monster to see here.
Wait, did he buy 4 torches?
No,
I think he had 4, because he's already thrown 3. He probably just bought 4 because he's going to need another one, and he had 9 gold.
Yeah, he couldn't afford an additional herb. He's going to be able to fight this ghost, though. That's a fortunate monster if he ended up encountering something here, because the other enemies are quite strong. Sparkover's got to work her way back, but don't worry, it's not too bad. She's going to earn plenty of experience on the way back, so... Reaching level 4 is another goal that we need to reach before going on too much further, so... Alright, here he is in the town, and he's picked up the fairy flute.
Yeah, nice flute.
Which we're going to use to fight the golem later. He's also taking the clothes from the dresser, as well as a very important strength seed. We collect 2 of these strength seeds in the game, and they can roll 1 to 3 bonus points of strength. We need to take very important care to make sure we get at least a total of at least 5, so 5 or 6. So Game Boy here, he's dying intentionally in the swamp. This is going to send him back to the town. He's going to save his game. Only 3 experienced in level 3. That's really good. He's going to use the strength seed, see what he gets. He got a 3, so that's the best. He's happy with that. He's going to move on. So in order to make sure we get at least 5 on these 2 seeds, we save the game, and if we roll a 1, we're going to reset the game and try again. If we get a 2, we're going to move on. 3 is the best, obviously.
But when you watch the me and Dean race, I'm sure that neither of us actually did this route. This is very, very nice for when you're in Rocky Cave, because you can swing at things a lot more efficiently. Especially if you get that 3.
Especially with the 3, yeah, I was just going to say, the 3 is actually going to make it a lot easier. So yeah, he only needs to fight the 1 ghost to reach level 4, that's good. So at level 4, he's going to learn Gira spell, or Hurt. It's a fire spell that he's going to deal 16 to 20 damage. He's going to take it to the south here where the monsters are pretty strong. He's going to use Fireball. Well, this is just a ghost, but...
Anything that's not a ghost, we're going to throw Fireballs at. Gira is going to be our main source of attack for a hot minute here.
And he's mostly doing this for some extra gold. He's going to want to buy some supplies for the next part, the Rocky Mountain Cave that we're going to do. He needs to make sure that his inventory is full. He needs to purchase 4 torches and as many medical herbs as he can hold. Hopefully 6. We want to max out there if we can. Meanwhile, Sparkover on the right, she's looking for the strength seed.
I love how Sparky doesn't actually start from fresh game. She has to save that just ruin her file.
So she's got a +3 on her strength seed as well. That's really good.
Remember to be a big strong boy and eat all your veggies. So you two can be like Bopo. Or
Yeah. What you name your hero determines your stat growth. So we've chosen names either IE or Bopo is another common one you see runners use. So that gives us the strength HP growth type. Those are the 2 stats we care the most about.
Alternately, you can mess it up and use Bo or Boho and get strength agility, and then you can almost PB with it if your name is BW Scar. He almost beat my PB with Boho, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, it's still okay. You still at least get the strength type, but
then your max HP is never high enough to not get one hit by Golem. It's pretty great.
It's pretty dreadful. So Game Boy's made his way here up to Garai. He's going to fill out his inventory. Oh, he still has that extra torch, so he only needs to buy 3 more, I guess. But he's going to want to make sure he maxes out on herbs as well.
He has so much
the most
money.
He can hold. Yeah,
he's so rich. I miss doing this route. And
I know. I was going to say, right? Like, we're always broke when we do the other style. He's probably got some pretty good XP as well.
Yeah, another convenient thing about this is you do get the 2 Gira kills, which is really good experience. The other route, we're kind of scrabbling for level 5 and hoping.
Oh, I know. Reaching 0 MP and not being level 5 yet is the worst feeling in the world. Shouldn't be a problem for these runners, though. Game Boy's rested up at the inn, and he's stocked up, and he's going to head over to the Rocky Mountain Cave. Now, it's important that we fill our inventory because we're going to take advantage of a treasure chest, a special treasure chest in the Mountain Cave that has the death necklace inside of it, but it only has the death necklace inside it some of the time. So when we open this treasure chest, the game is going to tell us the contents of the treasure chest. It's usually a torch, but occasionally it's the death necklace. If it's a torch, if our inventory is full, we can actually, the game is going to prompt us to, if we want to drop something for this torch, we can just tell it no and close the treasure chest and open it again. Each time we open it, it rolls a different item. So we're going to keep checking this treasure chest over and over and over again until we find the death necklace. Now, the catch is, in order to do this, of course, our inventory has to be full, and we filled our inventory of torches. If we use a torch, then unfortunately our inventory will not be full. So the players will be walking through this cave in the dark until they get to the death necklace treasure chest, which is actually on the 2nd floor.
I went ahead and gave Chad a little way to play along with farming for death necklace.
Taimatsu.
The 3rd line will be Taimatsu. The moon runes I put in chat. And we see that, and it haunts my soul.
So Game Boy is making his way through the 1st floor of the mountain cave. Now in this version, we can see just a tiny bit around our character, so we can tell when we're up against walls, and we can also hear this sort of bonking noise when we're bumping up against the wall, so that can sort of give us a clue as to where we are. But both of these runners should have the layout of this place more or less figured out. And
bonk, 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 bonk.
Oh yes, there is actually a translation patch version for this, but it has some issues with it. There are some known issues as well as some possibly unknown issues. But the other issues are that obviously the English text is just slower to crawl. For our races in our community, generally we play on the Japanese version, but to learn, it's actually very acceptable to use. In fact, most runners in the Western community probably started on an English version for one game or another. Dragon Quest 3, I know that's how I started.
Yeah, the convenient thing with DQ1 though is you don't really need to know that much. You
yeah,
normally know every item by like a single character, so it's just picture block. I still say the Steel Broadsword is spelled 1500. Because you can just get away with that for most things.
Well, yeah, you know, like, what he's talking about is that's how much gold it costs to buy it in the shop. So it's like, well, you don't need to know which item you're buying. You just buy the item that costs 1,500 gold. As it turns out, that's the steel sword.
A lot of that comes from the knowledge of the Western Dragon Warrior game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can apply basically the same names and stuff, too. Or if anybody's actually familiar with the Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 Game Boy Color cart, that's actually based off of this SFC version. So those two versions are actually much more similar in terms of game mechanics, although the names and items and things are the same from the original. Game Boy's made his way here to the 2nd floor, and the monsters are going to be much more dangerous here. He's going to make sure his HP is full, and he's going to try and run away from basically everybody. He's going to grab this first treasure chest that's got a big pile of gold in it. That's going to be good. Although we are going to throw away half of it when we die. But he still has 4 MP. That's actually a lot. He can fight some of the Magidraki, or the Drakimas down here. I'm sorry, the yellow ones. They're a pretty tasty experience and can be killed by the fireball. So here's the Death Necklace treasure chest. He's going to look inside. There's a torch. He's going to say no, that he doesn't want the torch, and he's going to look again, and he's going to do that over and over and over again until he finds what he's looking for. There it is, 5 tries. He's got the death necklace, so he's going to throw away a torch and pick it up, and then he's going to now use a torch. We don't care about our inventory being full. We'd rather actually see than not see. Oh, he's going to go with 2 gyros on this skeleton. This is a good idea, too.
Yeah, I was going to say at this point I'd probably try and conserve those for Amado. Or the Red Magician, because he's worth like 30-something.
28, I think. He's just a little more
like
skeleton.
Ew, that's terrible.
He's less than 30.
He should be so much more than that.
Yeah, Sleep. Yeah, he's pretty dangerous.
My arch nemesis. I demand he be worth more. I have no clue what Droll's worth, because I've never actually killed one, I don't think. Outside of Grai, I didn't pay attention in Grai.
Grai's tomb is, yeah.
So I don't know if that would have been worth
saving. I think they're worth 20. They're worth less than Skeleton.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So he's got the
iron 20, if I remember right.
Yeah, one of those two. So Gambo's picked up the iron shield. He's going to equip that.
So Doninator, we actually have the world record is held by Lavkian at I think 106. Then Velociraptor has 101 tries, and I have like 66. That's top 3 for how long to get Death Necklace, as far as I know.
I don't think I've ever taken more than 50 tries.
It shouldn't take 50 in the first place. It's a 1 in 16.
Yeah. Alright, so Game Boy's picked up the last couple items he's looking for here, an MP seed, which he's going to use to clear room for the second strength seed. Now he's going to, classic Dragon Quest RTA fashion, get himself killed.
Nothing like the Death Warp.
Mm-hmm. This is the fastest way back to town a lot of times for this, especially because we don't have outside or return spells. So we're just going to go ahead and get ourselves whacked. Droll satisfied.
He might kill it.
He got out of turn.
He's swinging hard, man. Almost. He almost had it.
Got +3 on the string seed, man.
So strong.
Alright, so he's died, and now he's got the second strength seed. He's going to save the game and use the other one. He got 3 on the first one, so he's going to look for a 2 or 3 on the second one.
Why? Burp. I can't split. Nor help.
Alright, so looks like he's got... I missed what he rolled, but he must have rolled something good. He's ready to move on. Either a 2 or 3 is fine. So he's going to put his stuff back on and move towards Rimmildar. Sparkover, meanwhile, not too far behind. She's in the mountain cave, about to get to the Death Necklace treasure chest. That's it right there. So she's going to be looking for the Death Necklace. Not too far behind.
Okay, I guess he got it, because I was trying to figure it out and make it work.
Yeah, so that split was about maybe 30 seconds delay thanks to some technical difficulties. It was about 15:30.
Okay, thanks. I can fix that.
Mountain cave.
Oh, I missed Sparky if this doesn't refresh faster. Come on.
Alright, so she's got the Death Necklace now. She's going to retrieve also the Iron Shield, the MP Seed, and the Strength Seed. She's got 2 MP as well. She may look to use that against Drachima. That's what I would use. This wizard giving her a little bit of trouble. But she's fine. Only 1 medical herb left, though. That's pretty low. She might have to use that last one just to get through this cave, which means she won't have any for the journey to Rimmildar. Which is what Game Boy's doing right now.
So many wizards. You really don't want to see him, because he can just put you to sleep if you fail to run, and then you're just kind of dead. Mm-hmm. Everything else, you can at least try and run more, or you can use an herb. You can't really use an herb while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Now, do they shift the names around in this particular version, since I believe those are known as the Warlocks in the...
yeah, they're probably...
I just call them Red Magicians, because the real name is... There's Madoshi, there's Mado, there's Daimado, which is like great magician.
Yeah.
But they're all technically, if you translated them, would just be magician, great magician.
I just tend to describe whichever robed guy in that area shows up as the wizard or the magician.
Mm-hmm. Or color-based. Like regular magician and then like red wizard or red magician.
Okay. Maybe for the purposes of this, that's where I'll chime in with my Dragon Warrior knowledge to be able to decipher and discern which ones are which here.
Yeah, help out our crowd, however helps them best understand it.
So while this may not seem like a big thing, Game Boy got a 4 on his first MP seed. Sparky got a 3. If Sparky gets a 3 on all of her MP seeds, she's gonna cap out at 95 MP. You don't want to cap out at 95 MP.
Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate circumstance that'll happen there.
It's a nice way to start down 1 heal more against Dragon Lord.
So it doesn't matter how many herbs Game Boy had. He's got tons of MP. He's already level 6, killing stuff outside. Oh, he's got 1 left. He's going to use it. Looks like he's going to fight 1 more fight. So Sparkover has died.
Now, the reason that the MP is important is each casting of Heal More is 8 MP. So if you have only 95, that only goes 11 times.
Yeah, there's a very big difference between 96 and 95 MP for the final dungeon. It will also have residual impact on earlier sections in the game. It can potentially matter for the Golem Walk or the Melchido Grind section near the end of the game. But looks like Game Boy's intent on just spending all his MP and fighting lots of monsters. Sparker's having trouble getting a good value on that second strength seed. She's going to keep rolling for a good one, though. Dragon Lord, it will depend. It actually depends more on his first form. The first form in this version of the game can be very problematic. He can be very easy and friendly if he just wants to attack or if his sleep spell fails. But if you fall asleep and take a lot of damage or just straight up die, that's a big problem. And he can also heal himself with his own Heal More spell. The more times he casts that, the longer it'll take to win the fight. Dragon Lord 2 is a little bit more stable and predictable in this version, but the more MP you have going into that battle, the better chance that you have. Having at least 64 is like the minimum for feeling comfortable. 56 is like, well, I'm going to need a little bit of good luck.
56 is minimum for comfort. Anything beyond that, you're going to start needing a crit. At that, all you got to do is cross your fingers.
Yes, the 56
crossing fingers for turn orders,
favorable turn orders, and you're going to need to, hopefully, you have some extra medical herbs lying around that you can use to budget some extra time. Or get some more favorable turns to heal. Yeah, you're going to really need some of that stuff. Game Boy's finishing up.
Turn 4 is fun. Turn 4 can either be like 30-something to 45 damage, or it can be like 12 to 15. Really hope for that 12 to 15.
So Game Boy's made it here to Rimeldar. He fought a lot of monsters on the way, so he's going to have a lot of experience. So we purchased magic keys. This is the town where we buy magic keys. At least there's other places we can buy magic keys, but you need magic keys in order to visit those shops. So if you're out of keys, you gotta come here. When you need keys for the first time, you gotta come here to Rimeldar. Stocked up on keys. 6 is the maximum we can hold. He's also sold that hard-earned death necklace to get the steel sword, which is a big upgrade from our club. And I think it's called the broadsword in Dragon Lord.
Correct.
He's also purchased a bunch of medical herbs, some more Chimera wings, and if he needed a torch, he would have bought one. It looks like he's got one. He's actually got too many wings. Did he forget the
No, he's fine.
Nut? Or did he already get that?
Oh, I hope he got the life nut. I thought you were going to say, did he have 2 wings? No, but you do end up with an empty spot if you used it immediately like you're supposed to for that one. He probably bought 3 wings. What he's going to do is he's going to open the chest and he's going to wing, which is a little bit swaggy, but it's otherwise pointless. It doesn't actually save you time in this version like it does in the Game Boy version, where you have to wait for the old man to walk all the way to bed, and it takes a million years.
I
walk
see.
out, hold B. Yeah, I used to do the 3-wing strat just because it amused me, but it actually slows that menu down because you have to menu open a chest menu, open a chest menu.
He's still going to have an inventory.
Another death.
Oh, I
That's
see.
not good.
That happened on the way to Rimeldar, yeah. That can happen. There are some dangerous monsters there. Wasn't sure if it was a victim to sleep spell. Was that what?
No, that was regular magician.
Oh, okay.
Probably just got blasted with a higher gear than expected.
Or outturned. I usually just expect to club those things to death and not worry about it. But so yeah, if you get some... Yeah, see, he doesn't have room for the Stones of Sunlight because he has this extra wing.
Yeah, he also has the the HPC you didn't need immediately. If you do this that strat, you have to use the HPC to immediately.
That's correct, yeah. We prefer to keep it. We're going to use it in battle against some weak monster like a slime. It's actually faster to do many things like heal or use items or equip things in battle than it is outside of battle. The menus are a little bit sluggish, whereas the in-battle text is very fast.
And the healing jingle, at least, is pretty fast in combat. Obviously, if you're using attack magic, you have to wait for the entire animation to play, so that's a little bit slower. But it's just like, bleep, you're healed. And if something's asleep, then you can just run immediately.
Typically, yeah, if we are using magical offensive spells, we have a pretty good reason.
Which at this point, it's still, because it's better damage than sword, might see that in your eye, unless they want to be magically conservative, which would be...
For the first floor, it's about the same for all the monsters, so he's just going to be holding his sword out and attacking everybody on the first floor anyway. On the second floor, it's a little bit... Things like wolves, or obviously the Iron Scorpion especially. Gonna need fire for him.
I think Sparky was just trying to run from it.
Oh.
Is what caused her death, probably, is a run fail.
That could be the case.
Ran from one there. She's running from Scorpion. I need to teach her better. He's so tasty. But what she's doing is being very conservative with her MP for when she gets to the other side of the cave. And she probably doesn't really need to.
Her experience is probably in good condition, so it's not necessarily that bad. I would probably beat up the Scorpions, yeah.
2 MP for 16 XP is very, very worth it. Even with our more dangerous route where you need more experience overall, you're better off taking that and trying to convert that way.
We usually end up with fewer medical herbs doing that route anyway, so hanging around in Rimmildar for a long time is not exactly... It's not exactly safe sometimes.
Yeah, having minimum MP is not great either.
Game Boy's making his way through Garai's tomb.
Nice guy.
Garen. Yeah, he's got that droll slain. He's already level 7. He fought, like I said, he fought a lot of stuff outside of Rimmildar with all of his MP.
He's gonna grab... I think that's our last HP seed, right?
Yes, that's the third one. Yeah, looks like Sparkover's just trying to get to Rimmildar as fast as possible. Oh, the wolf didn't see her. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Except there's this Iron Scorpion, too.
Oh man, I love the half-step encounter. It's my favorite.
Lots of encounters there. That's unusual.
Hey, at least she had more than 9 HP against a wolf 2 steps outside of town. Totally not salty.
Now, in this version, because of the route that we're following, the damage ranges are mostly fairly stable because the stat gains are fixed and the weapons we use are always the same. The damage ranges and values can matter in some situations. For a lot of those encounters, like the Dragon Loot Dragons, we're actually, hopefully, actively counting damage to pay attention to be able to keep track of the enemy's health. I'd say one of the bigger sources of damage fluctuations are probably from the enemies. The Gira spell is a very common spell that can deal either a range of 6 to 12 damage, so that's a pretty wide range there.
I think Sparky's at the point where I hope she kept her club to sell it. Her money is getting low. Taking a death on the way to Rimmildar kind of sucks for that. Your money becomes much tighter with the relatively large amount of purchasing we're doing right here. The biggest buy that we actually ever do. And it's all on the back of that death necklace. So being able to force that, which you can't really do in NES, unless you're doing full manip, obviously.
It's very important for our run.
It's either the necklace, which I think is worth like 600 in NES, or it's like 12 gold.
Alright, so on to the final floors. Game Boy's looking to retrieve the Silver Heart, but he's also looking to fight some monsters. The skeleton guy there, the Wraith Knight. You definitely don't want to fight him. He's going to beat you up, and he's resistant to sleep, and he does too much damage to fight efficiently. So we're looking to fight the other monsters here. Meta Lord is a little bit of a...
Ooh, that's so scary.
Rude guy.
At least it never healed after turn 1.
Right.
Known in the American version as the Droll Magi.
Oh, the Droll Magi is the other one. This would be, I think, the Druin Lord. Druin Lord.
The Druin Lord.
I always get those two mixed.
I get those two names mixed in my head all the time. I call the Druins the Metas. I call them Drolls all the time.
As soon as I said, I'm like, no wait, Droll Magi are those gray things. That's right. Now it's of course, the infamous Drogon Lord emoji that was created by Norastra, or Restreamer.
Oh, Game Boy got a back attack on the Wraith, man. He's looking to fight it.
That's
critical hit. Okay, he's got it. He is worth way more experience than the other monsters.
He has no fear whatsoever.
No fear.
Nice
got 1
bonus
HP fighting
experience.
Hell Ghost. Oh, he's dead now. That's fine. We are looking to Death Warp there, actually. The closer we get to level 8, the better it can be, actually. But we don't want to spend too much time fighting. So that was a good amount of time spent. In fact, he may have even been like, when he got the back attack against the Wraith Knight, being like, well, I'm going to try and fight this. If I die, it's no big deal. If I kill it, it'll be a good bonus. He ended up killing it, so...
A good bonus.
His till next level is under 100. It was like, what, 50-something? That's really good. We're going to look to reach level 8 along the way, outside of Hawk's Nest, before advancing to...
Sparky did the... Oh no, she did the Game Boy version strats, but she also only had the 2 wings. So now she has to walk out on her way to Golem. Not ideal.
Yeah.
She's using some strats that I used to do, and that's not a great idea. Because it's the things that I've even gotten rid of. Unlike healing against Magician on way to Dragon, which is something I need to get rid of.
I tried that, and I was like, no, this is a bad idea.
I did it in the race, and I'm pretty sure he geared me like 4 times in a row, and then he ran.
I actually caught him gearing you a bunch of times, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's like after the second gear, I'm just dedicated. I can't just stop now. I've got to keep going. Got to see how far down the rabbit hole I can get. And that's the first time I've ever gotten through 4. It's only like a 30-some, 40-some% chance he does that at that point. Because running is an option. I think it's like 12.5%, and it takes away from both attack and Gira chance. Gira being hurt. That poor ghost did not deserve that. Pretty sure he just crit that ghost.
Yeah.
It just exploded into a million tiny ectoplasmic pieces.
So to help her afford this stuff, you said she was going to be short on gold. She took the extra treasure chests in Garai here.
Probably didn't need quite that much. Yeah, she's going to throw away the copper sword, which is a very important weapon and another fun category that we have for this called Silver Harp Manipulation. Because unlike the NES version, where the Silver Harp is always the same 5 monsters, for us it can be... It's whatever monsters are in the zone, and you can use it to farm metal slimes.
Yeah, it's a separate category. It's a technique that we actually don't allow for this particular category. We call this category Dragon Loop. Instead, we acquire that mid-game experience through something called the Dragon Loop, which is going to occur after the Golem section that Game Boy is on right now. So he's advancing through to the next town. Melquito in this version, it's called...
Cantlin.
Cantlin, you're right. In this one. Of course, it's guarded by the Golem, who is worth a lot more experience in this version than in the original Dragon Warrior.
About 412 times more.
Yeah, 2,500 total experience for defeating the Golem, so that's why we're advancing here this early at level 8. The monsters here are actually far more threatening than the Golem, as it turns out, so we're going to be carefully running from and or putting some of these monsters to sleep first, healing ourselves mostly to full after each fight. Against some of these enemies, though, you just gotta cross your fingers and hope the run luck is good, because things like Shadow Knight are too strong to do anything about. They don't go to sleep reliably and are likely to just get you killed if you're not just trying to run away. And if you fail to run even 2 times, you can be dead.
And another thing besides the experience for Golem is this changes to the sleep mechanic. Something is guaranteed to stay asleep for at least one turn. So it can only wake up on the second turn.
That's
so
right.
We can effectively sit here and flute forever if we want to, and he can't wake up.
As long as we reach the Golem with at least one, and we can survive at least one hit from the Golem, we can survive by using the flute, and then attacking, using the flute, attacking, using the flute, and repeating that, and eventually we'll win the battle.
Gameboy almost ate a key.
Almost there. He's going to heal up the rest of his missing health, making sure he can get here, and he's reached the Golem. First try Golem walk, that's very good. He made use of his MP quite wisely near the end of his walk. He was making it most of the way. You saw him use Sleep Spell against the wolf, the killer wolf, who's guaranteed to go to sleep. And he also used one against the Armor Knight, the blue Armor Knight, who has 85% chance to go to sleep. So, playing the odds, using some of his resources to improve his chances of making it through here safely. Once he's reached the Golem, he can, since he does have available resources, he's chosen to heal himself back up to, well, it's close to full. He can survive a hit from the Golem at 57. So now he can do something where he can attack 2 times before playing the flute, or attack until the Golem wakes up. That way the Golem will hit him, he won't die, although he got hit for a lot of damage there.
Sparky White! Sparky White!
Oh no. Yeah, the wolf is very fast, so your chances of outspeeding wolf at level 6 are not very good.
And she used her sword. You should use Gira at least once, and then look at Gira damage to decide if you can swing your sword. She actually rolled 16 on her sword the first time. If she Gira the second time, she had a solid chance to kill it, but she went full physicals, and you don't go full physical against wolf.
At level 6 it can be tricky. I like to use sleep if I'm level 7. Ooh,
yeah.
Nice critical hit that Game Boy scored against the Golem. That's worth about 5 hits worth of damage. We only deal between 10 and 13 damage, and the Golem has 155 hit points. So it normally takes a long time to kill him, but 50 damage critical hit is going to save him a lot of time. A lot of swings and a lot of flute plays. He's probably almost finished. He's got punched one more time, but...
Oh, he actually burned through all of his herbs.
Yeah, he can choose to heal himself if he would like, but the fight's almost over, so he might just choose to hit.
I wouldn't recommend it with heal at this point.
You run the risk of wasting time healing yourself anyway, even if you don't get yourself killed. So there we go. He's defeated the Golem. 2,500 experience is his reward, and he's going to go straight from level 8 all the way to level 11.
So much better than the 5 experience that you get in Dragon Warrior.
A little bit,
right?
Just a little bit. You go through all this effort. Like, wait, 5 experience and 9 gold? That's all I get for this?
Right? So we've reached Cantlin here. We've got several things to do because we're starting the Dragon Loop. Looks like he's going to grab the defense seed here in the dresser and stop at the inn first. He's going to store away some unneeded items in the vault. The vault is a new feature in this version. You can store a bunch of quest items or other things inside of the vault and then pick them up later. So we're going to make a bunch of room in our inventory for holy water. Fairy water is going to keep the low-level monsters at bay during this section, the Dragon Loop, which we're getting set up for here.
This is the hardest boss in the game. Even Japanese runners have issue with our good friend Fault Boss.
Yeah, it's just a lot of menuing and sort of rapid succession, putting all these menus away.
And with JRTA, we are using Turbo, so you're just sitting there turboing through menus and you put a key away. Doesn't really matter, but it sucks.
Just the other day, I accidentally put my iron shield away.
Yeah, you kind of got to get that back.
Yeah, kind of important. He's also going to purchase a Chimera Wing so he can get back to the main castle. And start the Dragon Loop here. Once he's prepared, he's going to replenish all of his keys. And there's one more NPC, the third one actually, that we get in the run. There is a fourth one in the game that we don't actually get. It doesn't really... The point at which we get it in the Dragon Lord's castle, where we're already kind of committed to trying to finish the game anyway, so it's kind of... We don't have a chance to replenish our MP at that point, so increasing our max MP won't really help. Not worth it.
He's got his spares. I didn't see a second NPC though.
Now, these seeds, that is something that is new or exclusive to the Super Famicom version that was not in the original.
Yeah, it's in every single version besides NES.
Yeah, it was something that they started doing after
it's very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Without the defense seed that we get beforehand, Golem would hit harder.
The strength boost is actually massive.
Yeah, 5 or 6 strength will get you really far. That's actually why we need 5, in part, is for Golem and Dragons. It actually boosts the damage range on some of the Dragons, and it boosts Golem from 9 to 11 to 11 to 13. Which doesn't seem like much, but when you're trying to swing for 155 damage...
It's like...
it can save you a turn or two.
Of time save, just to get 1 extra point of strength in that case. The difference between 5 and 6 is not as significant, but the difference between 4 and 5 is very substantial. It actually turns out, I looked at some numbers, and it actually does improve our chances of 2 hitting star chimeras by quite a lot as well.
Oh, that was a neat way the Game Boy took to get to the dragon. You get extra half steps, which half steps you and Super Famicom, actually only in Super Famicom, even the other remakes don't have half stepping.
Yeah,
that's 1 step where you can't actually get an encounter, which is very convenient.
Yeah, when you're going up and down into corners like that, the game sort of auto-corrects you and wraps you around the corner of the thing, but the game doesn't use that tile to give... That tile doesn't contribute towards your threat, towards the next encounter. So you can't get an encounter when you do that, and you can actually go further, in a sense, than you typically would on average by taking advantage of these half tiles. We saw Game Boy doing that a lot in the Golem Walk. That's where it's the most important, reducing the number of encounters in that section, which I think doing half tiling carefully there is probably saves you at least an encounter on average, maybe 1.5.
Might get up to 2, really. But you're not going to get more than 2 saved from that.
There are a lot of forests and hills tiles that you can half tile on that really save you.
And something that's not as useful in this game as it is on the other game on the cart, which is Dragon Quest II, is if you half step, you don't actually take damage from floors.
Mm-hmm.
Very important for DQ2 speedrun.
There's a couple of times I'll take advantage of it in the Marsh Cave, but it actually doesn't matter for the Dragon Loop, because you want to heal yourself before you fight the dragon anyway.
Yep.
So, Spark over here on the right, she's finished getting the Silver Harp and has died. She's finished the grave and is ready to move on to the Golem Walk. So she'll be saving and getting ready to move on. So Game Boy is on the Dragon Loop. He's defeated the dragon in the Marsh Cave that's guarding the princess and collected 950 experience. Again, this is a huge boost compared to the original. That guy is actually worth a lot, and is the main reason we're gonna do that. We also talked to the princess, took her with us, and then died. This serves as a trigger to send her back to the cave, and it makes the dragon reappear. So this is why we call it this category the Dragon Loop. This is how we're going to gain this mid-game experience as quickly as we can. We're going to level grind off of this dragon in the Marsh Cave. We're going to use the fairy water that we got in Cantlin to protect us from these encounters along the way to the Marsh Cave. Get in the Marsh Cave, fight the dragon, get 950 experience when you defeat him. Hopefully our HP will be as low as possible so that when we get the princess and leave the dungeon, we can die in the swamp as fast as possible.
Now, you mentioned a bit of a bonus as far as 950. Compared to the NES version, that's about 21 times the experience that the Green Dragon gives. It only gives 45 in the NES version.
Yeah, not quite worth it. As I seem to recall, he's quite a bit more ferocious. In this version, compared to, actually, it's a special boss Green Dragon. It's not the same as the random encounter Green Dragons. His physical attack is actually lower, although his HP is considerably higher.
Yeah, he has that lower attack power. The mobile version also has the normal attack strength, which is fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, playing through mobile version the first time, if you speedrun this, is not a fun experience, because you're like, oh, this is fine, I can just go fight Golem at level 8. You can't, because it has NES sleep mechanics, so he just punches you in the face and tells you to have a nice day. And you're like, well, fine, I'll just go fight dragons in the cave, and then they're hitting you for much stronger with their physical attack. Obviously, the breath doesn't change, but...
Yeah.
It goes up from like, yeah, he'll hit you for like 20 to, oh yeah, here's like 28, have a good day.
So the players here, the good players, will be counting the damage on the dragon. They've figured out how much health the dragon has. So once the dragon's almost defeated... Oh, we took a little bit of a chance there, but turned out okay.
Yeah, until you're level 13, flipping a coin is a very scary experience. Even at 13, it's not the greatest, but it's much more acceptable.
I tend to risk it at 13, but that's just me. I've certainly been killed a number of times at level 13 trying to cheat the dragon, and... I
mean, I've been outsped by dragon number 7 at level 14 with a less than 1% chance, and he killed me, so... In a race, too, I'm like, I'm doing good, I'm in the lead, and then I die to a dragon on a less than 1%.
That's not supposed to happen, unfortunately.
The story of my life, mind you, in races, is I die to things that are less than 1% chance repeatedly, forever. And questing for glory is a good example of that.
I just die to the Axe Knight over and over again.
Yeah, we actually call the Axe Knight hiding Rhoda's armor the Diener Knight because, oh man, him and Diener, they've got a long...
Lately, it's been pretty good. I haven't died to him actually in a while. It's been like maybe 4 or 5 runs.
So time to start doing PB attempts while you have that 3-minute time save. Because didn't you die to him in your PB?
No, my PB has Metal Slime though. And like the...
I thought you died to him and got Metal Slime, and that's like what counteracted the death to...
No, it's just, it's actually a Metal Slime before Golem.
Ooh, that's a nice big tasty one. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think it would make much of a difference, but that actually gets you to level 9 before Golem. And then you just sit there and beat him down, and he doesn't know what's happening.
It also is the freest Dragon Lord's castle with 3 red dragons.
Nice. And
that's like, oh, that's hard to beat. Everything else is a lot cleaner than when I played that run, but I mean, compared to how I'm playing lately.
Sparky has no MP, and she is still outside of Hawkness. That's not great.
Yeah, she's reached level 8, but I don't know what she's...
If I was her, I'd rather just die now. I would probably walk into Hawkness and just die. She's gonna use herbs and go for it. That's scary.
Well, we'll see how it turns out. She can, if she chooses to resupply. It is going to take a lot of time, but it's probably better than... Well, it might be okay to repeatedly try with just MP. Still, I think you want to give yourself the best chance, and...
Yeah, I would hold the L here. If I got that bullied. Game Boy just gained the return spell, so after this dragon, his life's gonna get a little bit better.
So that means he's 3 dragons in, right?
Yep, after Dragon 3.
And they're going to be facing a total of 7 dragons through this, as it's been called, Dragon Loop, correct?
Yep. In the Game Boy version, it's actually 15 dragons, and it takes a million. Kaishin! Kaishin! Kaishin!
And the Metal Slime sticking around for a number of turns, but unfortunately, 2 damage will not be enough. She's got just enough for the sleep spell and the Killer Wolf, though. That's a good idea. But her resources are dangerously low. She's just gonna need be conservative and hope for some good run luck against the monsters here.
Having to walk at less than 50 is so scary. And walking into Jerkbird is even worse.
Hang in there. She's going to use 2 here, but it's going to leave the 1 just to heal her enough. If she makes it through here. If she takes too much damage, she won't be able to survive the Golem's hit, even if she makes it there.
Get away.
Oh.
Get away. Oh god, it's Dragon. We can't actually do anything to him. Then he hits
the dragon is too strong. Is she going to have enough? She's got 60. She actually has enough. The herb maxed out. That was a good herb. As long as she uses the correct item here, good. The fairy flute's going to move since she has no herbs left. So if she made it, as long as she just does flute attack until the golem is dead, then...
It's going to take a minute, but it's going to be faster than if she died and had to walk again.
She accidentally hit run. But it's okay. The golem is still asleep.
Oh my god, he stayed asleep. Oh, it's so scary, and she is Your natural instinct during this fight is as soon as you go into the menu, you will immediately hit left, and then you're going to realize that that's the wrong thing to do and be very sad. But you hope that you figure out that that was the wrong thing to do fast enough. To...
She's making another menu mistake.
D-pad Y, pretty dead now.
Yeah, that's too bad.
She had, I don't know what she got on her agility seed, but at best she had a 2.8%.
Sparkover ends up falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, level 8, the highest chance you can have is 2.8% chance of outspeed.
Yeah, it's
the minimum is
very,
like
very
0.7.
That's why we want to make sure that we can survive at least one attack when we get there, because we're likely to take at least one attack.
Or you get back attacked and you have to take 2.
Or, yeah, and then you just die.
And you just smile and let it happen.
Walk again. Oh. Game Boy, unfortunately, getting a dodge there on the dragon there.
Aww.
Now he has 37 health, which is a little on the high side, but that's okay.
It's not worth risking staring at your shield at that, because you might end up dead.
At 13, just me personally, I'd do it.
I mean, me too, but I mean, I'll swing at level 11 if I want to try and make time up, and we see how that goes.
I wouldn't chance it with 11 or 13 is when I start going for it.
I think at 12 you have what, like a 60-some% chance?
I think it's higher than that. I think even at 11 it's over 70%.
I mean, no, 11 is... Is it over 70? I thought it was like 60. It might be depending on your seed.
Yeah, it's probably very...
It might be like high 60s to low 70s based on seed. Which is kind of funny. The agility seed. Sometimes we want 3, other times we don't.
Yeah, there are instances, particularly against the final boss, where we're looking at the Dragon Lord's second phase, where we're actually looking to go after him when we go to heal ourselves. I guess we're looking to go first when we attack, kind of. But when we want to heal ourselves, we'd like to take a lot of damage and then heal ourselves for even more, rather than heal ourselves for some and then take a bunch of damage again.
And then heal away. Yes, you can only fight Golem once.
Yeah, there's no way to respawn the Golem the same way we respawn the Dragon.
Otherwise, Golem loop.
That would be a fun loop.
Yeah,
there'd be some monsters that would still kill you all the time.
There's a reason why when Game Boy made the rando for this, he cut the Golem's experience down by a lot. Because if you found an area with Golem just clowning around and you had the Fairy Flute,
or if you
congratulations, it's like 20 minutes, your max level.
Yeah.
And Game Boy's at the point where he has to burn the waters out to the absolute wick, because you're actually 1 water short during the second half of this grind. You can only hold 7 for 4 dragons, and you need 2 per dragon. So...
Yeah, because we took the death in the castle for the 4th one, though, we do get to preserve a chunk of one of them. So if you are able to manage your HP and get it really low for 5 and 6, you can still have enough.
It doesn't even have to be very low, it just has to be like
low enough.
20-ish. He can't sit there and be killing them at 34 over and over again.
That was actually the one he went back to the castle, so it wasn't even really a problem. I didn't realize that was number 4. This one here is number 5. 5 of 7.
Oh, 1 HP. Shadow Knight is so strong. Why is he here? Please nerf.
Yeah, he's the number 1 guy you do not want to run into.
Phoenix, please nerf. Please patch my 30-year-old game.
It's 22 HP left. That's pretty good. He's defeated Dragon number 5, and he's reached level 14.
So he should, quote-unquote, should be going to the vault, unless he forgets. Going to the vault now can let you save a little bit of MP for when we actually head towards our good buddy, Diener Knight.
Yeah, it'll save you a little bit of time to well, it can potentially save you time. If you have the dragon scale, the dragon's damage rolls will be lower, and you can potentially just swing through.
I've actually swung through without scale before.
Well, yeah, they're at level 14. You need to pay attention to your damage rolls. If you have good damage rolls, you can defeat him in only 6 attacks. and you won't need to heal at all.
Or you crit him turn 4 with like 60 HP and cry.
Well, yeah, that's not what we want. But sometimes, even if you need a 7th attack, the dragon's damage rolls will be so low that you can actually survive 6 hits.
What is he doing? Did he sell his scale or throw his scale away?
He should be in the vault still.
Or no, I'm looking. Why am I looking at Sparky? Sparky's buying more things.
Getting supplies to do the golem walk again. Yeah, she spent too many the first time.
Yeah, she had to replenish the herbs that she had used along the way.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. Game Boy's got the second vault boss done. That was pretty good. He's got everything he needs. He retrieved the silver harp that he stashed there. We're going to trade that for the Staff of Rain in a little bit. He also pulled out the dragon scale. That's going to increase our defense power just a little bit more, but it's actually going to be a critical threshold for the dragons as well as the Axe Knight, and it's just going to help us out in general overall. And gosh, what was the other? Oh, the Stones of Sunlight, of course.
Stones of who? What name?
I know there's another item we pulled out of the vault, but we leave the fairy flute in the vault. We were done with the fairy flute. Since the golem's gone for good, we have no purpose for it. So it's just clogging up our bag. So we'll leave it with the vault guy for eternity.
I really enjoy Game Boy's way of walking the golem, and I don't know why I don't do that. Our boy Saucity there, Scorpion.
He's just hanging out. He's gonna fight dragon number 6, and then he'll just do one more. Well, for now. We will fight one more dragon here in this cave later on, actually, but...
Our boy bonus dragon.
It's going to be after the strong Malketo grind when we're level 16, so...
15 is so good. I never get below, like, 25 on Dragon 6. Like, ever. Unless I'm in swing through time.
Yeah.
He always hits me really weak on final hit after I heal, and I get really sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get the dragon scale and you get those low damage rolls on that, then you can just swing through and end up at like 10 pretty much every time. If he hits you harder, you can't do that. And if you hit him too hard, then you could actually be in a situation where you actually have too much HP, even though you still haven't healed yourself. Game Boy just has one dragon left, 941 till next level, which means he will definitely reach level 15 when he defeats this dragon. It's worth 950. So.
Oh no! Magic Wyvern, why? Are you making I sleep forever?
A sleep spell is very dangerous all the time in this game.
Like, the terrible thing is, her deaths on way to golem haven't really been her fault. It's happening. This happens on rare occasions. Normally, you can play something better.
Magic Chimera is one of those guys that the Magic Wyvern is just one of those guys that I don't really have any good options for. I don't think using sleep is very effective on him.
It's not worth it.
You're just giving him an opportunity to put you to sleep first.
Yeah, he's the strongest thing where it's not worth putting them to sleep ever. Armored Knight, it can be. It depends where you're actually fighting him at and what your resources look like. But for Magic Wyvern, he's never really worth it. You should just run.
It's because like the chance of
putting you to sleep and then no sleep is just not worth it.
You just can't do anything effective. So last dragon for Game Boy in the Dragon Loop section. He's just gonna beat it up. This one, he's not concerned about his HP. He'd like to defeat it without healing because it's a little more efficient, but he is going to have to heal himself one time just to be safe here. Oh, he's healing a second time.
He's probably just trying to hope for lower damage rolls, save some healing time. Actually, he might have needed that. I mean, he has 25 HP. That's the lowest he could have got from that second heal. That's a bad dragon. I've never seen a you must heal against Dragon 7 twice situation. That's not great.
He must have gotten a lot of high damage breaths. The attack should be doing significantly less at this point. Alright, so he's just finished up with the Dragon Loop. He's got the Repel spell now at level 15. Tolherosu. This is going to replace the Holy Water effect, the Fairy Water. We're not going to need to purchase additional Holy Water from here on out. We'll just use Repel wherever we feel like not encountering monsters.
No Lavid strats feels bad. I like to heal off enemies in this area.
I'd like to Repel through and get somebody a little weaker. The Ghost is nice because he'll never run away, but...
I normally don't get an encounter until I get past the more dangerous stone because of half steps. Because I half step all the way up the mountains and then half step over the water.
Yeah, that's true. If you bump into somebody with Gira, it's probably not a good idea to heal yourself.
I mean, they still have a decent chance to run. If you really wanted to, but normally I'd just run away from them, yeah. Depends on my mood. Because I make bad decisions. So Lavid strats are very much a thing, and you should never do them.
Just do pop strats.
No, I'm not doing those either.
Oh,
Thanks.
no.
I'm good with that level.
Immediately shows up in 2 hits.
Of course, Shadow Knight. We have a lovely emote that I'm not going to say the name of because this is a PG channel for that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty much the worst. A source of much frustration.
Even at the end of the game, he's pretty much the worst thing you can run into because he's a very, very high evasion chance, and you're sitting there swinging at him. You can one-hit him, but you're just swinging, and you miss like 5 times. You just miss. You're never in threat of dying unless you miss like 7 times. And I've died to him because I've missed 7 times.
After getting I've nearly been killed by him. I've also been nearly killed by the Magic Wyvern after getting Roto's armor, and Pop actually did get killed by him once.
Effectively showing that there's nothing you can do against our boy Kage. You just accept your fate, and
You do everything you can. Unfortunately, you can't do much. Alright, so Game Boy, he did in fact take the princess with him. We do want to fight the dragon one more time, which is going to mean dying with the princess in our arms at some point. But we're moving on here to Hawksnest. We've reached level 15, which is going to give us a decent chance at fighting this guy, the Axe Knight.
And if you're going to play this, remember, you have to go south. Unlike the NES version, you must go south. The top is barred. I've seen people try and go north because you can in NES version.
Game Boy fell asleep in an early turn.
So sleepy.
Oh, but failed sleep. Alright, good damage rolls too. You actually only hit him 3 times to kill him. A little bit of good luck there.
I think we split on that and non-armor.
Yeah.
It's weird, I split on armor. It says armor. I don't like running. I like running split. But he's gonna take his bonus encounter. It's gonna be a dragon.
I wonder, did he equip the armor?
I wonder as well.
Those damage rolls were quite high. Did he put the armor back on?
He probably did because he had 52 HP. I didn't see him cast heal. So I think he did put the armor on.
Well, that's not too big of a deal. He's going to replenish his MP, and it actually drops the princess off. He's already got the hard part over with, where he's defeated the Axe Knight.
See, you say it doesn't matter, but I know the feel, and it just really makes you sad when that happens, because I've gotten blasted in the mouth by Magician there.
It is a time loss, but he's going to repel his way back over to Domdora and be right back where he was. So.
Yeah, and since we actually have the death out of the way, he can just make sure that he has enough MP, and he can just use return at the end of this, instead of flailing in the swamp until he dies.
Yeah, he won't have to force a death with the princess to respawn the dragon. He's already respawned the dragon. He's died there.
Okay, so his next split is Sharlock in. Another split I don't use.
I pull that one, yeah.
I need to. So that I can have my Forgetting Roto's token time not be in my Dragon Lord. I do that far too often. I blame the fact that it's a half tile off from where it should be. Which, whenever he picks up the token, make sure you pay attention to where it comes up from and where he's standing, because I guess, like, Hero finds it on the back of his boot or something.
Well, Vaxerd explained it to me that the castle is on a half tile. It's the actual center of the castle itself is actually on a half tile, so that's why the
Why?
spot to search is on a half tile, because the center of the castle's 2 tiles wide, so the center of the castle is the half tile between 2 tiles. Yeah.
But they didn't change the animation.
No.
That didn't exist in the NES version.
They added the token. I don't know. Maybe they had a limitation of where they could do that animation. It's got to be flush with the. I don't know.
I'm sticking with their main.
Oh, he's gone there. Game Boy got 1 swing in. He was. Looks like he was using the. It looks like he was using the frame manipulation technique there, but.
Yeah, I think he's not using a turbo controller.
The trick will work as long as it's message speed 8. It's just, and you can use message speed 8 without turbo. You just have to
mash really
mashing.
Hard. Yeah, message speed 8, which is what we use for turbo, is because it actually, well, it's called the slowest. It's actually just waiting for your input, so it can technically also be the fastest. If you're not using turbo, we normally use 1.
Press an input, so you just turbo the text and it goes by faster. But you have to be alert and read the text.
Sparky's got ready for round 2 here.
She's made it to the golem here.
Lots of MP. I'm assuming she has good herbs. I'm gonna pick up. Oh, nope. Another encounter first. Our boy Kage, doing his best impression of why he's annoying. And now he's dead.
Right here. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Literally the worst. And yep. See, well now it's gonna be the front of his shoe that he stubbed his toe on it. It comes up flush with the mountain, but you actually pick it up between the 2 mountains.
The animation for where it appears when you search and get it is not centered with where it actually is that you have to search. And it's very precise, that half tile that you have to search it on. It's not like I'm used to playing Dragon Quest 3. For a lot of those search tiles, you can search in the general area. It's like 4 different half tiles that you can search to get it.
As long as your toes on it, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Must be nice. You can even search for the stairs half tile off and then just step right on them. I'm so jealous.
Unless you're bad at the game.
Oh, you just miss it entirely. But yeah, the DQ3 SFC remake is based on the Dragon Quest 6 engine. This is based on the DQ5 engine, which is why there's fun little tiny differences between the 2 games. Even though they're both, remakes, you wouldn't think they'd be that different. Because it's like, well, throw the same thing in, but nope. There's a decent gap between them. I think this came out like a year after DQ5, and then DQ6 came out like a year after this, and then DQ3 came out after that sometime. A nice spread of them just feeding the Japanese public games that I wish they would have fed us too. Nice Kaishin on Golem.
Yeah,
nice double
the Golem was defeated. Saving some time back there. The Golem was defeated.
That Golem was not ready. All that time it took, thanks to our boys Kage and Magic Wyvern.
Oh no.
Golem was literally sleeping and just smacked in the face.
Turned into little pebbles there. So we came down here to get Roto's token over here on Game Boy's screen on the left. We need that along with the Staff of Rain and the Stones of Sunlight, which we've already collected. That's going to build the Rainbow Drop so we can get to the Dragon Lord's castle. But we're not quite strong enough to defeat the Dragon Lord at level 15. For this version, the level that's going to give us the best chance at defeating the Dragon Lord reasonably is level 18. Higher levels would obviously improve our chances, but actually going from level 18 to 19 is not a significant improvement in our character stats.
You get like 3 strength, like 2 MP, and I don't even know how much HP, it doesn't matter.
Not much, yeah.
Like level 19 really sucks.
I think level 20 season
20 is huge.
But this is a huge investment of time. So level 18 is going to give us a great chance. So that's the level we're going to pick. Technically speaking, we can fight the Dragon Lord at level 17. That's the level we are learning the Heal More spell. But our chances are tremendously bad.
It goes from like 70-something% to about 5 because you demand a crit on Dragon Lord too.
Yeah, if
you don't crit, you're just dead and you accept it.
Yeah, if If we go at level 18 and Dragon Lord 1 is kind of rude, we can usually still win the battle, but if he's even a little bit obnoxious, then your chances are basically out the window. And on top of that, even if he doesn't troll you with the first form, you still need a crit, at least one, in order to defeat the Dragon Lord. Your strength is so low that your damage output is just not high enough. And actually having the much lower max HP, well, not much lower, but a lower max HP actually is potentially a serious problem as well. The risk of overhealing and needing to heal more often becomes a serious concern. So, bottom line, level 17 is not race safe. You will not see any of the runners in any race do level 17 Dragon Lord unless they're being complete goofballs about it.
No, I was about as much of a complete goofball as you could be during our race, and no.
No, it's
I do it in PlayStation version, but in the PlayStation version, if I take a fight directly in front of Dragon Lord, I stay directly in front of Dragon Lord just because it has a quick save function that's really silly and abusable and a giant meme. Great for practicing level 17 Dragon Lord, though, if you really want to.
So to that end, we're going to be leveling ourselves up before moving on to the Dragon Lord's castle. We're going to be getting experience probably reaching level 17 here. So we're just going to be fighting monsters in this region. The hills tiles make for the fastest encounters. We're taking advantage. Yeah, he should be getting close to level 16 now.
Or no, he died after Dragon, so it may take a little longer. That extra little bit of walking in.
That's true. But we'll just be taking advantage of also Roto's armor that we got, Erdrick's armor. Of course, it heals us with every half tile we take in this version, which is huge. So we were recovering health super fast as long as we have this equipped. Yep. So we can pretty much just walk back and forth and continue attacking monsters. The star chimeras are going to be a little bit more problematic. The Star Wyvern, he's got the Heal More spell and can be kind of a jerk about it, so Sleep spell can be good at there's level 16. Sleep spell can be very effective at dealing with the Star Wyvern.
Yeah, and Game Boy is going to be sitting here now for a little bit less than 8 more minutes, because we know what we need for experience, and if you stay here for about 8 minutes, you'll be right about level 17, and we have the bonus dragon for another 950 experience, which is almost a third of the experience we need. So we get about 2k more here, and then we're good to go.
So when players will leave this actual grind section will sort of depend.
With the lead he has, you'll probably stick around
at
for
at the very earliest. We just need to make sure that defeating the dragon in the Marsh Cave will get us to level 17. That's 950 till next level.
Which is 16,050 experience.
Yeah, 16,050. But the more time you spend out here, the less time you need to spend in the Dragon Lord's castle fighting monsters there. The monsters there are worth more experience, but they are a lot stronger. Now, compared to the NES version, however, they are very much fightable, especially because Roto's armor allows us to heal so rapidly. We can take many of the encounters there.
Yeah, it's one of the not as fun things. If you run this version of the game, playing any other version just feels so bad, because you just do not have the same healing. It is twice as much as even the mobile and the remakes of the mobile and PS4 and 3DS. And it's like you try and do these strats and you think you're going to be fine, and it's just like, why am I not getting healthy?
Right.
Also not half-stepping and help healing. It's a little bit scarier.
The Game Boy Color version, which is basically just a direct port of this version, does not have the half-tiling, however, and it makes the final dungeon much, much different.
And it's also why, instead of doing this grind, they fight 15 dragons.
Yeah, they actually extend the dragon loop for twice as long rather than coming out here, because coming out here is actually not as viable without the half-tile healing.
Yeah, because you'll see his health will fluctuate. He'll hit under that 50, which is the safe line. And you would be struggling to get to 50, possibly, on any other version.
Yeah, on average, we heal about as much damage as fights. Some fights you'll take more damage than others. It depends on what actions enemies take, and getting a critical hit on an early turn will always save you a lot of health. So generally, you can stick to these hills. If you do start taking a lot of damage, we have MP for the heal spell if you want. Although I prefer to save that MP for the sleep spell. Oh, sleep failed. Sleep failed again.
My favorite.
Oh boy, it's okay. But you can also take advantage of these plains tiles up here, these grass tiles, and the half tile mechanic to replenish your health. So here's Game Boy doing that. Here he's on these plains tiles. The encounter rate is much lower than on the hills. He can walk around and heal up to 80 now, so that's a lot safer than, 50.
Nope, here we go, though. Oh, okay, good. The magician just died in 2 turns. I was like, here we go, 3 turns, double Beggy Rama, no health left.
Nah, it's fine.
Oh, I got PTSD from that dude at this point. After he killed me directly after I killed Axe Knight, I just don't trust him anymore. Yeah, the magician's the second most experienced, but he's the thing I second most don't want to see after the Jerkbird, because Beggy Rama or Hurtmore is very, very strong. We can't mitigate spell damage in this game. We can mitigate breath, we can't mitigate spell.
Yeah, the Hurtmore spell still is a pretty strong source of damage, and several enemies that we'll encounter from here on out have it, although many of them, their physical attacks are practically as strong. Dragon Lord, it's basically like the same thing.
Yep. Same with Hargon and DQ2.
Yeah,
nice Kaishin at 16 HP, which I assume means the dragon was gonna die anyway.
Yeah, except Hargon will punch the same person twice.
Yeah. Hargon of the Beggy Rama Fist.
Oh, Hargon.
Wait, who's Hargon? I don't even...
It's such an easy fight, and you get trolled by it sometimes. If you make a small mistake with Sama's health, though, you can get killed by Explode It really easily. Yeah. He doesn't get mitigation.
And they're done that during practice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 64 HP should be fine, right? No. Explode It does up to 65 damage. And the water flying clothes don't reduce it, so... Magic armor does, but...
I think Game Boy might be in a situation where he's probably going to have to Death Warp out anyway.
Yeah, his MP is getting too low to,
Good old Jerkbird, dodging all the sleeps.
I know, draining all of his...
That's an 85% chance, by the way, that he failed twice. That's why this belongs on a Randomania channel without being random. Nice Kaishin. I think crit's what, like 5% chance? That's why we say Dragon Lord 2 did 17 is 5%.
I'm not sure.
I think it's close to 5% chance of crit. Which means you'll only ever see them when you don't really care or need it, when it doesn't do too much good for you. The animation's actually longer, so in a situation where something's gonna die anyway, it's like, man, thanks.
I don't know, that Raptor special, though.
I mean, he wasn't necessarily gonna die without that, though. That doesn't count.
He was absolutely going to die without that.
No,
he wasn't even close to kill. Oh.
No, Dragon Lord. The last turn crit, the walk-off crit is fine if it's not guaranteed to die. It's like if I'm on a 5 count against Dragon Lord, it's fine, but... No, and there it was... At the very least, that was insurance on Raptor being dead. Which, if you did not see the RPG limit break DQ1 race, ooh, lad.
Watching them fight back, he wasn't even close. Like, I didn't have the heart to tell him that he was, like, getting...
You're done. Yeah, it's like you're done.
Like, turn 4 physicals, or turn 4 out-turn physicals, like, oh man.
Every time.
You're not gonna make it.
And just swings
for out of nowhere, the outspeed critical hit. Legendary.
Yeah, I'll take 3rd place in the race in front of that many people if it's still a good race and I get to crit Dragon Lord with like.
No, that was an excellent race. Everybody played really smoothly. Sadly the only thing that happened was Pop got killed by that Warlock in the mountain cave. It was like the only thing that happened.
I swear, half the time me and Pop race, one of us dies in mountain cave, which shouldn't happen. Well, speaking of Pop, hello Pop.
Pop's on. Wow.
Our good world record holding friend who is making a big Dragon Quest speedrunning website. Winner of the RPG Limit Break DQ3 race. Because you got bullied. You both got bullied for the first half, and then Pop didn't get bullied again, and you kept getting bullied.
Don't remind me about. You know, actually, my second half was completely fine, except for one thing. I was actually making some ground back.
You were, but things were not going great. Like, you were managing not great things very well.
And then one thing went wrong. Oh, I killed the Hagure, too, in that run.
Did you kill Hagure? No.
Yeah, on the first try down. Got the Hagure, and then... My HPs were amazing. Like, my hero was so strong the second time I fought Zoma. Insane.
Okay, so Sparky does have return. She's going to buy holy waters, so she's 3 dragons in good. At this point, there's not much for us to talk about if you haven't realized that we're just talking about other events.
Yeah, the strong grind is going to continue here for a couple more minutes.
While that's going on, why don't we talk about some of the upcoming events here among the Randomania networks?
Ooh, please do.
Alrighty, including right at the conclusion of this, at the top of the hour here, 8 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States, Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament action. We've got a match coming up at the conclusion here. There's also going to be another tournament tomorrow evening, another tournament match of the Final Fantasy Randomizer. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern, just a little under 24 hours from now. Also tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we've got a Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link Max Rando Tournament semi-final match. That should be a lot of fun. Also coming up on Saturday, wow, a very jam-packed Saturday as I look here. Starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League race, and I believe I'll be providing the commentary for that one. And then later in the evening, it looks like there are 3 different Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament matches, and also the Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer Weekly, and that's at Saturday at 9 o'clock. So just over the course of the next few days, quite a bit going on here among the Randomania networks. And for those who are fans here of the Dragon Quest series, on Wednesday nights here among the Randomania networks is the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. That's right, the NES version of the game that you see here with everything all shaken up and shaken around. And you tend to see a lot of our runners, including the 2 that are currently competing, they get involved in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer as well. So check that out. That's Wednesday nights at 9. It's the Wednesday Warrior Weekly.
Yeah, it's great. I'm always a big fan of Dragon Warrior Randomizer. It's fun to watch. I get frustrated trying to play it, but I really like watching. And these 2 are regular features on Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
I used to play it, but then when I started taking this game seriously, it just felt like a very clunky version, and I'm like, I don't want to mess up my actual RTA playing. It's like, man,
Totally makes sense.
I can't half step. What's going on? My armor doesn't do as much. I'm sad.
Now, did you check out from this past spring any of the Chaos tournament that had gone on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I watched lots and lots of High Spirits, and he was one of the first people doing Chaos Seeds, and I'm like, oh boy! Why is Swamp 90% of the map?
Well, he likes the big swamp versions.
Oh, he loves the swamp maps. He just likes getting down and dirty. So, it's High Spirits for you. I mean, you live in Florida that long, you're just...
Dirty. It looks as though gameboyf9 getting down into, well, what we know in the Dragon Warrior version as the Jerk Cave, the Rainbow Drop Cave, and is now acquiring said Rainbow Drop.
It's Jerk Cave too. If you don't have the things, he kicks you right out.
That's what we learned the other day.
That's what we learn every single time I forget the necklace. You're the token.
New version, still a jerk. So yeah, he also reached level 17 off of the dragon along the way, and as we noted earlier, he actually didn't quite realize that he's actually out of MP, so...
Yeah,
he's been it's his friend Goldman, but he ran away! Goldman!
Goldman's like, you can't have my gold today, Game Boy!
In an ironic
Not this time!
Game Boy tries to slay Goldman, and Goldman gets away.
We should always run away from Goldman, because he is never worth it, but Game Boy disagrees, and he almost lost... That was almost the entire amount of time that he lost to our good friend. Where is he going?
Where is he going?
Maybe he's going to stay at the end to replenish that MP at Rimmelgard?
He should be doing that in Rimmelgard, but he's going...
Yeah, he had 4 MP. He had enough that he could have cast, Repel. Did he forget Bonus Dragon?
He's level 17. He must have.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, it
that
seemed
must be
like
what
he
he's
got through
doing
that
there.
cave really fast. He has enough to cast.
Yeah, I would probably
Radiant.
cast Radiant. He's not going to have enough for outside
No, he
anyway. Yeah, Radiant's 2.
No, but I thought he had 4. He must have cast a Repel.
Yeah, he did cast another Repel.
I mean, at level 17, I think I would have just cast Repel and went into town and been like, well, this Sharlock's gonna be really bad. Maybe sit around on their first floor for a couple extra fights before I'd go further. Because the first floor is more or less the area that we just sat in. It's impressive watching somebody do this in the dark, though, because that seems not great.
Yeah, he did forget to fight the dragon. Here he is, the dragon. Surprise!
And he did it through the dark from bottom
the bottom.
to top.
Yeah.
That is
I'm
hard.
not sure I would be comfortable doing that.
I would end up going through this. I would end up going up the stairs and out.
I have had to stumble through Garai's tomb in the dark, and I have had to stumble through the Dragon Lord's castle in the dark.
How did you make it through the first floor of Garai in the dark? I couldn't do it. That would be impossible.
Some people have a sixth sense when it comes to these things, I suppose.
I mean, I can do Sharlock. I've had to do Sharlock before. I've never done Garai, and it just seems terrible.
I also
Everything
tried to do the Dragon Lord's castle and got lost once. I had to bite the bullet and use Radiant.
The one time I did that, I think, was actually playing NES. Like, I was bored, I had nothing better to do. And I had already lost my run, so I'm like, I'm gonna go through the cave in the dark. I actually made it. I was very pleased with myself.
Well, we'll make sure to buy a torch here in Rimmildar along with the rest of the supplies before heading to the Dragon Lord's castle. One torch will suffice for.
He has enough
making our
MP.
way
He could
through.
cast Radiant and just be sad when he runs into a stone man he can't put to sleep.
Yeah, I find that MP is a little more useful, typically on Stone Man. Although lately I've been trying to option in Stop Spell as well.
Stop spell on Shinigami Senpai or
The Devil Knight.
AK-47, the Death God Knight.
Yeah,
I could have taken another.
that guy is really rough in this version.
I still think he's better than Stone Man. Carry that to the grave with me. I think Stone Man's worse because Stone Man has so much HP to get through.
If
At
I'm
least
at full HP and I'm encountering a Stone Man and I have Roto's sword, I'm going to win that fight.
Yeah, but I can just run from Shinigami and accept it. And I can end up with more HP than when I do one against Stone Man.
Yeah, I guess. But then there's times when you really need the experience, so you're inclined to fight Shinigami, and then he heals himself, and then you can't fight him anymore, and then next thing you know, 2 run fails, and you've got to heal yourself. Or risk it. So, looks like Game Boy's stocking up on supplies. He's going to want to max out on medical herbs and have a torch as well. And he's going to want to rest up and replenish all of his MP, and then it's time for the final journey. Hopefully, for him anyway. On to the final dungeon, the Dragon Lord's Castle. We've got the Rainbow Drop, we've got Roto's Armor, and we've got the Iron Shield, which, the large shield, that's going to be the best shield we're going to use. There is the Silver Shield. It's too expensive and doesn't make an appreciable effect for many of the most dangerous parts. So certainly against the Dragon Lord, it basically barely helps.
Does it even help? I thought it didn't even change his damage ranges.
You can lower the safe ranges by like 2 or something like that, but only on the physical. The ones where it's
only on turn 2 and turn 4?
Or 1 and 2, basically, because turn 1's line is based on turn 2's damage.
But yeah, and you also have to sit there and grind 5,000 more gold.
Well, that too, and that's if you...
And you can't death warp out from grind.
the swamp, yeah, you'd have to probably strip and do it after you bought the shield. Or take an inn and go return. That would probably be a lot faster. No, because you need to drop the princess though. So yeah, you would have to die. If you still had her, you would have to die. So yeah, you'd have to strip
down and
have
let Dragon help you out.
Yeah, basically. Not a problem though. We don't bother with the silver shield. We're just gonna take. We still have this broadsword, the steel broadsword. We're gonna use that just a little bit longer. We're gonna use it to fight our way through Charlotte Castle and acquire Roto's sword, the Sword of Erdrick. It's the best sword in the game, and it's going to be a big increase in damage on everything. So,
okay, Sparky's Death Warping so good. I didn't miss her being done dragons. She should. This has to be like Dragon 6 there, right? At this point.
She's level 14, so yeah.
Our good boy Drachima getting punched in the mouth. Or Magidraki. Yes, Magidraki.
Yeah.
Someday I'll keep track of them. I don't know why one's called Drachima and the other's Magidraki. It's like, yeah, okay. These are the same thing. They're not the same thing, though.
They're pretty close.
Might as well be. Except one of them can cast heal, and yeah,
one of them doesn't always die.
Lived, yeah, he lived through Agira, and then he healed himself. I'm like, are you actually kidding me?
Yeah, I was also in the same conundrum where I was like, well, what do I do now? I guess
You run. Unless you have 4 MP sitting around.
I guess I just threw 2 MP away for nothing.
Why'd I save that onto this floor?
I know, right?
Like, punch that one magician twice.
When you're counting on that to get to level 5. Yeah.
Game Boy gets to begin the fun. He's gonna roll around in here for a hot minute.
His way through the final dungeon here. He's gonna be fighting his way up to level 18 in here. The encounters are, for these first couple of floors, mostly the same, although the Axe Knight guy does show up here. That's some, I guess, 20% encounter rate on the Axe Knight. And he can still be quite dangerous. We'll have to see if Game Boy runs into an Axe Knight, what he decides to do. If he's missing any amount of health, I imagine he's just going to run away. But,
even at full health, is run away. But some of us
questionable whether or not you should even fight him, and it's kind of like a risk-reward thing. If you're really pushing for an aggressive time, then fighting the Axe Knight's probably in your favor. Or if your experience hasn't been good in the castle yet, like if you had to run from several Axe Knights already, you're just gonna have to kind of, bite down and fight the Axe Knight anyway.
But with the lead that he has, the fact that he does know he has this lead, because it's not rando, you're allowed to watch the other racers, and you have good enough internet, which I don't, and it sucks. So he can play perfectly safe, keep everything nice and close to the cup, and not have to worry.
Yeah, we do allow...
Avoid catastrophic failure is all he has to do at this point. Like, don't die to Dragon Lord like 4 or 5 times, and he should be fine.
Well, even 2 times could be potentially bad.
Well, if that happens, we know that Game Boy will go after the both of you for the proverbial commentator's curse.
It's fine. I'll be like, good. It happened to someone that's not me in a nice, big, lots of people watching setting. Good. Like when I was gonna beat Diener because he died to Dragon Lord, and then I died to Dragon Lord 3 times. On a 5% and a 2.5% chance.
Oh, and then fighting this accident and the sleep spell failed. That's good.
He just wants to prove me wrong.
Game Boy's moved further down, and if you notice, he encountered several of those blue dragons. Blue dragons are pretty good. They're worth 180 experience, worth more than anything else up to this point.
And you really want them to just breathe on you. Their breath attack does nothing. Their physical really hurts.
Yeah, the teeth hurt, but the fire breath is like 10 damage. It's negligible.
Yeah, Roto's armor really makes life nice. I'm glad that you get Roto's armor outside and Roto's sword in here. Makes all the breath attacks
spell, but he got hit there, but he should have enough health to finish the accident. He's going to use a medical herb here. That's pretty good idea.
The 50 is still a heal line.
The Roto's armor is going to heal us a lot as we're walking along, but at the conclusion of a fight, our HP is too low. You probably don't want to risk it. Using a medical herb will help restore us back to full health a lot faster, so that we can actually fight the next fight instead of being forced to run away. So Stone Man also can show up here. We saw him earlier. His physical attack power and max HP are both incredibly high. His defense power is very low, but ironically, that makes critical hits actually not quite as good. In fact, it's not unusual to crit the Stone Man and not kill him.
And Sparky's gonna take the nice extra and get the comment about how they were heard laid up last night and all that good stuff. Seems very lewd.
Replenishing your MP before going to the Axe Knight is sort of like an option select. It is going to help you in the grind section, but if you end up getting killed by the Axe Knight, it's kind of a waste of time because your MP gets restored after you die anyway.
There's Roto no Ken, Roto Sword, which he's going to equip immediately. Technically, you can save a little bit of time by equipping it in combat.
It's a little bit tricky though. You gotta make sure that...
Yeah, you hit the second option. Also, you sit there and look at the sword inside of your bag while something is chewing on your face.
Hey, Dragon, check out this cool sword I just found.
Now, why are you fighting?
Dragon bites you for 35 damage.
Please stop.
No, instead he's equipped the sword and he's using it to slash these monsters to little pieces. All the monsters that took 3 hits to kill now take 2 hits to kill. All the monsters that took 4 hits to kill on average now take 3 hits. Stone Man still might take 4 hits to kill.
I think Axe Knight can still take 3 if you like mineral.
Yeah.
And he has to have like near max HP.
Yeah, but he can potentially take 4 hits without it, so
yeah.
You're still saving a hit on average. And that's what makes it fighting him after getting the sword much more favorable. So Game Boy's gonna check his experience. Looks like he only needs 450 or so, a little bit less than that. And he's got to fight this dragon too, so he's going to need less than 300 moving on to the final section here, which is the most dangerous.
So we get to see if the fun police are going to bust in, and since the NES release, they've had to do a lot more community policing efforts. So now instead of just bringing death and sadness, they actually bring ice cream tickets, and they make sure that all the little boys and girls are having a very good time.
Yes, they don't crack down on fun in this version. They enforce it. Red dragons are very easy to defeat relative to many of the other monsters here. Oh, here's one. Critical hit. Wow. Instantly defeated.
Okay, goodbye.
And here they are, 350 experience, which is basically double most of the monsters down here. So they're very easy to beat. They're basically no risk. They give the most experience, but they only show up 20% of the time. 40% of the time you're running into AK-47, and he is still big pain in the butt.
I don't know if DL is DL in or DL out. I'm gonna assume DL out.
The AK-47's better known as the Armored Knights, at least in the NES version.
They're Death God Knight.
Shinigami no Kishi, the Death God Knight, yes.
Armored Knight is the blue dude who doesn't actually even get to have an axe now, because he is Yoroi no Kishi, which is just Armor Knight. And then Axe Knight is Devil Knight.
So, Game Boy's reached level 18 off of the Red Dragon. He is not interested in fighting other monsters. He's going to run away from everything. And he's in good shape, max HP.
Back attack.
And he's ready to go face the Dragon Lord. He's going to deny the Dragon Lord's favorable request. And
give me your sword. No.
So this first phase, he's going to need to attack 7 times to defeat this first part. But the Dragon Lord can cast Heal More on himself, which is going to take approximately 2 hits away. He can also cast Sleep Spell, which can be very bad if it works, although it can be a wasted turn if it misses. He's going to keep his HP fairly low. As long as he has at least 40, he's probably going to be attacking. But he needs to make sure that he ends this fight and goes to the next form with at least 55 hit points, so that he won't die to the turn 1 Fire Breath that's going to happen at the start of the second phase. Oh, he missed.
Missing's not great, especially if he heals himself, because that's like a 3 turns away.
Yeah, so the longer... Unfortunately, we don't have... Ooh, that was not what he wanted to pick.
Oh yeah, good night, Game Boy. Ooh.
He wanted to... Yeah, he wanted to use
himself.
Healing Spell and accidentally pick the run option. Just an input mistake there.
Also, unlike Game Boy, Sparky not as lucky. She gets to go for round 2 against Axe Knight.
Yeah, she
as we said, that makes the end a waste. It's okay though, because now Bopo's nice and refreshed. Sleep fails, and she just walks through the fight.
So she's got Roto's armor now. She'll be going into the strong grind. She'll be getting the experience necessary. Game Boy, unfortunately, is going to have to make the journey back to the Dragon Lord's castle. It's using Repel to avoid all the monsters here, and...
The convenient thing with this stuff, though, is now he has level 18 MP. So that should get him an extra heal more.
Yeah, he got a very good MP seed roll, so he's definitely going to have access to an extra heal more. He's also free to run away from all the different dungeons. He has no incentive to fight anything.
As we said, level 19 is not even worth it. Plus, it would take like 3 more trips through of Charlock of full fighting to actually get there. But one of the big differences that make the Fun Police so fun in this version is their first 3 turns are entirely static. Their first attack is a breath attack, which is meaningless. The second turn they cast Mahotone or Stop Spell, and then they should be dead. If they're not dead, then they get to chew on you once. That kind of hurts, but it's the only attack that they'll get, because then they're guaranteed to die unless you miss. Yeah. After the third turn, they actually do go to a random percentage pattern, though. I think the reason that the first 3 turns are set are because it has Mahotone and it has 2 MP. It casts Mahotone once, and it hopes that you are Stop Spelled, and then it's ready to truly begin the fight.
Of course, ironically, we don't care about Stop Spell.
Yeah, there's not really anything that has Stop Spell in this game where we care.
There is one instance, and it's the Wolf Protector. Going down in Garai's tomb. If you try and put him to sleep and he outturns you and casts a spell, you get in this kind of weird scenario where...
You should still be able to swing, though, if you're keeping your HP where it's supposed to be.
You have to use an herb if you want to be safe. The chance of being outsped and killed is too high. So you need to swing, then use an herb, and then swing 2 more times. Unless you want to chance it. No, I did encounter it once on Night Start, and I had a conversation about it. That's what his advice to me was, and I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think I ended up just swinging and risking it, and that was probably not the thing to do.
But yeah, since we actually buy our herbs for the Golem Walk before we enter Garai or Garanham, so
yeah, using them is generally not
fair herb, because you want ideally you'll keep the menu so that it's just go into items and then it's one button press to get to your flute, which both of our runners got kind of screwed out of being able to do, which makes it take a lot more and makes it very hard, especially when you're used to just the one press to be there.
Yeah.
So, because you don't want to use your last 2 herbs for 1 heal, you want to leave 1 herb around, so you technically have 1 herb you can use. And you would like to have that for Golem Walk, but sometimes Garai demands it.
Yeah.
Give Garai what Garai wants. Or you die and you enter Garai again and you have to do the walk all over. Or you leave Garai needing 300 experience and then you pretty much know you're going to die on Golem Walk.
Yeah, dying in Garai's tomb is a pretty serious time loss. Not only because you miss out on...
I hope you bought the full key before you entered.
There, yeah, but you're going to have to invest in 2 more keys to get back in there. You're going to have to fight a lot more stuff going through. You'll be level 8 for sure, but...
Magiwyvern MVP put her to sleep, healed itself, so that it didn't die, and then tried to sleep her again.
Oh, how much MP did that thing have?
A lot. I think they've got like... They have a ton of MP.
I want to know
like 20 or something.
I want to know how much MP the Maidalord has, because I swear he never ever runs out of MP. He'll just machine gun heal himself.
I can look this up real quick, actually. That's why I like my Metalurge.
Although you do have to be careful. Some of the monster spells cost different amounts. Monster heal more is only 5.
Must be nice.
I'm almost certain. Because otherwise...
Yeah, Metalord has 30 MP.
Oh god. 10? Potentially 10 heals? No. Alright. I'm rethinking my strategies for this monster now.
He's at least 100% susceptible to Mahotone.
Oh boy.
You could technically Mahotone him if you wanted.
Do we have that? No, we don't have that spell level, so...
We don't?
No, we learned sleep.
Or no, yeah, you get that at like... When do we get Mahotone?
9?
Yeah.
8?
Just tell you how useful Mahotone is in this
we very rarely use it. I found one use for it that's actually like practical, and even then it's like kind of iffy. It's still strictly worse, I would say, than just putting a stone man to sleep. Because he's guaranteed to swat you a bunch of times when you stop spell him. I'm speaking of the Death God Knight, the Armor Knight.
Yeah, the AI is a little bit more advanced in this game. So
he can be stop spelled, so he won't heal himself when we fight him, but he's smart enough not to try and heal himself, and he'll just keep
cast Begirama.
He'll just keep axing you until...
He's like, no spell.
Well, you will kill him because because he can't heal himself.
But you'll be on the verge of death.
You'll lose a good 75% of your health or so. Probably be in the herb range.
If you don't crit, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be. Unless he like outspeeds you turn 1 and heals himself or something.
He won't heal himself on the first turn though.
I've had him heal himself on turn 1, but I went before him.
Yeah, if you hit him, then...
Yeah, I think, because 75% would be above the trigger. Also, things in this version spawn with between 75 and 100% HP.
Yeah, the max HP is fixed, but the enemies will be maybe slightly, or sometimes not so slightly, it seems, wounded when they show up in battle, so...
Yeah, our good friend Star Chimera, Star Wyvern, Jerkbird, he can spawn with like 56 HP, and it's really nice if he doesn't heal himself, but he also can spawn with 73. And if he heals himself with how strong Healmore is, he will go to 73.
Yeah, he'll always be back to the max. Even if he started the fight with less than 73, he'll go up to his max 73. It's really quite obnoxious. And that's sort of what we use the sleep spell for. Once he heals himself, it's pretty good idea to put him to sleep at some point so that he won't heal himself a second time.
As soon as you turn level 18, the fun police just come out to play.
They just come out of the walls.
They're cheering you on your way to Dragonlord. Like, you can do it, buddy. We believe in you.
It's like not having torches and having to run from Scorpion.
That's the saddest. Or you can do the Cowie Classic and throw 3 torches and not kill a Scorpion and die.
Oh, I've been in that scenario too.
4. That's not like 16 or whatever his max.
Game Boy is up for round 2 on the Dragonlord. He's made his way back. Ready to... Oh, 2 whiff sleeps. That's a good start. And he's got the extra heal more too, so... We'll see what kind of trouble the Dragonlord will bring this time.
He has a spare heal too, which probably won't come into play, but it could.
I'm sure he's got a big stack of medical herbs too.
Yeah.
None of which are going to be very helpful against this first form, but in the second form...
Sometimes you gotta stall.
Yeah.
Sometimes you try and stall and you get really bad luck and you die anyway.
The phase, second phase attack order is mostly fixed, so we can predict his actions, although we can't predict the turn order. The Dragonlord usually goes first. So as long as we keep ourselves above certain HP lines on certain turns, we can be sure that we won't die. So he's going to start with a medical herb here to put himself over the line so that he won't die. At 64 on turn 2, 69 HP, he's going to attack. Heal on turn 3, and at 102 on turn 4, he'll attack. The 4th turn can be either a weak Fire Breath, which does about 10 to 15 damage, or a very strong physical attack, which does a lot. Game Boy taking a big risk there.
Ooh.
It's okay, though. Low damage physical.
Please. Or no, the strong breath can only do 17. Turn 3 can actually be 2 separate breath attacks, and I think he forgot what turn he was on.
Yeah, he's
but he gets the outspeed, so it doesn't matter.
He's got to be careful here.
He's back on order now.
It looks like it, yeah.
He needed that outspeed, though. He's been very, very dead.
Yeah, so keeping track of which attack is going to be next and what the safe line is basically the game here. If we get to this phase with enough MP, which it looks like he's got plenty to deal with this, then the fight is basically free, as long as you heal on the right times and attack at the right times. You'll have no problems.
Lots and lots of breath attack turns.
Yeah,
very convenient.
That's what you want to see. And there we go. So yeah, with over 80 MP, the fight is almost a guaranteed win.
Looking like a 149-ish.
Depending on how much MP the Dragonlord's first phase takes, that's when it'll get a little bit scarier. At 64, there's actually a fairly steep drop-off, whereas like 72 MP, you're still above 90%. At 64, it's about 70% win chance. And at 56, it's a little bit better than 50-50. Any lower than that, and
you're jumping down to like 10, 15, 20%
You might need to cross your fingers.
But I don't know what you're
GG.
talking about. 40 is perfectly easy. All you've got to do is crit Dragon Lord twice. I did it once, and I ended the fight with 20-some. I only had 40.
Alright, so Game Boy has defeated the Dragon Lord, retrieved the Orb of Light, and saved the land, brought peace back to the kingdom. Although there was no princess rescued.
And they're 3-some%. Feels real bad.
Of course, in the speedrun, we don't actually have to get the princess, so it is a strict waste of time. We generally don't. Sparkover is still fighting hard over on the right-hand side, working her way up to level 17. And of course, as I mentioned in the beginning, we use the Japanese RTA timing rules, so the clock will go for him until the end, at the end of the credits.
I can finally tell Game Boy the thing I've been wanting to tell him because I didn't want to give hints during the actual race. If you go up when you leave the cave, you don't take damage after you fight Dragon, and since we're trying to swim in the swamp, you want to do that.
Well, taking a look at the brackets here, so with the victory for Game Boy, which will be officially pending once the credits are finished here, that will advance him into the Wraith semifinal round of the bonus bracket, and he will be taking on the winner of Lavkian and none other than Lavitz right here in our chat.
Yeah, so he'll probably be taking on Lavkian, but yeah, this will be a tighter race than me and Diener, and I probably won't play like an idiot to try and catch up. I'll just accept my situation, should I be behind. Not waste very large chunks of time.
We shall see how that goes, and then meanwhile, in the top bracket, the Red Dragon final, that'll be coming up in at least another week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. That'll be the aforementioned Sum Diener. He'll be taking on Star Violence, and the winner of that will go on to the potential finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be another really exciting
to probably run
race.
Into whoever loses that race. There's a pretty steep gap between the rest of us and Diener and Star. Well, you never know.
I wouldn't say that, and the Dragon Lord is just such a huge troll.
Great equalizer.
Anyone can win, and that's really one of the fun things I think about racing Dragon Quest is that if you can learn the run and you can finish a run, then you can win a race against anybody.
Yep.
So there we go. It is official now. The official SRL time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 41 seconds for Game Boy F9.
Hello?
He is going to take the victor here, and it looks like we have a Sparkover in chat.
Hello, greetings.
Sorry, microphone problems, but I think we did it.
That's great.
Congratulations on showing off like the worst luck ever for Golem Loot.
Did you like my dumpster fire?
I mean,
beautiful.
It wasn't even your dumpster fire. It was just a dumpster fire that happened to happen.
Well, there was the time when I did actually make it to Golem, and then just because I'm kind of rusty, I sort of tried to run instead of
away from him. Yeah, that was
using the item.
But then the rest of the subsequent loops, it's like, well, there's nothing she can do here. There's nothing she can do here. It's like, oh, nope, that's Shadow Knight. You're just dead. Oh, look, she's asleep. Oh, she's just dead. Not great.
It was rough, but you know, we did it, sort of.
Did your best. You gave it the old college try.
Exactly.
You came on and you had a lot of fun, I hope.
It was fun. Can you hear my air quotes?
Yeah, actually, I can. So,
I mean, when's it actually fun when Golem is, telling you what the business is?
Yeah, it looked like it was a bumpy ride getting through there.
But the crits when he actually died.
I forgot about that.
2 in a row. Like, what was that?
Crit. Okay, we'll see you, bud.
So hooray.
Congratulations on escaping tournament. Ooh,
I did it. Sorry, Lavitz. I beat you out of the tournament.
Yeah, it's okay. I couldn't get my Lavkian race set up to be first. So I can go begin TQ2 training. But hey, I mean, it wasn't a bad race except for that part.
Yeah.
That one little stumbling block. I've got some help I can give you now. Make your life a little bit easier in the beginning.
Hopefully. Yeah, I do look forward to actually grinding this game out again, but unfortunately in a race situation, you don't really have the luxury of being able to reset very often, or at all.
No.
Except for, when you don't want to reset.
Yeah, unfortunately, and the Golem Walk can often be a spot that divides race runners. Those that make it through on the first try and those that don't often see a couple minutes between them, and then multiple failures can really just
throw you off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very emotionally draining whenever you just like doop-a-doop, having a good day, enjoying this nice walk, whoop whoop whoop, and Dark Chimera decided he doesn't want to sleep.
I think every regular runner of Dragon Quest I SFC encounters just some night where they just can't get through that part, no matter what you do. It seems like nothing works, and occasionally that happens. We do have a lot of tools and tricks up our sleeves if we're careful to get out of certain situations, but there's some situations that are just straight up not avoidable.
Sometimes you just get punched a lot.
Sometimes you just fall asleep.
Yeah, you're just going for a walk, and then you're like, whoops, time to sleep now. So yeah, if there weren't another thing happening right after this, I totally would have been happy to finish the run. Happy, there are my air quotes again. But, because there's another thing coming up, and this is definitely no point to me finishing it exactly. I figure we'll mercy kill it here. So thank you very much for the commentary and for the restream, at least.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Thank you all so much for having us here. And please look forward to Final Fantasy Randomizer coming up right after, and many other events here on Randomania, as well as the rest of the Dragon Quest Super Famicom Tournament.
And if you saw this game and you think you can farm Sparky for her lovely SRL points, please feel free to learn the game. We will gladly help you. One of us.
Yep, the Discord link as well as the, is all there in chat. And make sure to give our runners a follow, gameboyf9 as well as sparkover. And give the folks behind the scenes also a little bit of love as well. Our restreamer, Noriestra, doing a fantastic job
thank you
as
so
always.
Much. We're dragging him out of bed at 7 in the morning on a steady basis.
Yeah, exactly. Labbit's doing double duty of the commentary and tracking, as well as Sumdiener here in the commentary booth, and myself as well, Ferran Burgundy, kind of chiming in here and there. It's a little bit different with a three-person booth. So I figured, all right, I'll just kind of step back a little bit and let the more experienced runners kind of take the lead in this case. But yes, coming up next, we have the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament match between Salty Fry and Arson Horse. That is coming up in a matter of moments here on Randomania. For everybody behind the scenes, as well as for our runners, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.